Rice. It's more than just a side dish, it's a cornerstone of civilization. From the terraces of Asia to the paddies of Africa, rice has shaped cultures and economies. For millennia, this humble grain has nourished billions. It's a symbol of sustenance and survival. Half the world relies on rice as a dietary staple. It's a unifying thread in the fabric of global cuisine. But lately, the rice bowl is looking a little empty. The scarcity is alarming. Prices are soaring and shortages loom. What's going on? The situation is more complex than it seems. We're facing a perfect storm of challenges: climate change, conflict, and economic uncertainty. Each factor exacerbates the other. Remember the phrase butterfly effect? It's more relevant now than ever. A small change in one place can have massive consequences elsewhere. The ripple effects are undeniable. The global rice market is feeling that effect right now. Local disruptions are causing global ripples. The good news is, humans are clever. We have the ability to innovate and adapt. We've solved complex problems before. With technology and collaboration, we can do it again. Understanding the challenges facing this vital food source is the first step towards ensuring everyone has a seat at the global table. Awareness leads to action. And that, my friends, is something worth fighting for. Together we can secure a future where no one goes hungry. Rice has been feeding us for a long time. We're talking thousands of years here. Evidence suggests it was first domesticated in China, around 7000 BC. Imagine our ancestors figuring out how to grow this remarkable grain. From those humble beginnings, rice spread across Asia, becoming a cultural cornerstone. Think sushi in Japan, biryani in India, or rice paper rolls in Vietnam. Rice isn't just food, it's woven into the fabric of societies. Eventually, rice hopped continents, riding along trade routes and with explorers. It reached Europe and the Americas, becoming a truly global citizen. Today, rice is grown on every continent except Antarctica. Penguins, sadly, remain rice-deprived. Remember that butterfly effect? Let's talk about India. It's the world's largest rice exporter, supplying about 40% of the global market. But this year, India banned exports of non-basmati rice. Why? To protect their own food security. India's decision sent shockwaves through the global rice market. Prices spiked. Countries dependent on Indian rice scrambled for alternatives. It's a stark reminder: we live in an interconnected world, for better or for worse. This export ban is just one piece of a larger puzzle. The war in Ukraine, the ongoing pandemic, and economic uncertainty, all these factors contribute to instability in the global food system. It's enough to make you lose your appetite. As if trade wars weren't enough, our planet decided to spice things up. Climate change is no longer a distant threat, it's here, and it's messing with our food. Droughts, floods, and heat waves are wreaking havoc on rice production. Remember the massive floods in Pakistan in 2022? They wiped out vast swaths of rice crops. And in Vietnam, the Mekong Delta, one of the world's most fertile rice-growing regions, is facing saltwater intrusion due to rising sea levels. Climate change is like a cosmic dice roll, and right now, the rice market is on a losing streak. The unpredictable weather patterns make it difficult for farmers to plan, leading to lower yields and higher prices. Section 5. India holds the rice, a staple food for millions, close to its heart. A protective parent or market spoiler. Back to India, where the government has taken a bold step. Their export ban has sparked a heated debate, both within the country and on the international stage. Some argue it's a necessary measure to protect their own citizens from rising food prices, ensuring that the most vulnerable have access to affordable food. After all, a government's first duty is to its people, to safeguard their well-being and ensure food security. Others criticize the move, arguing it will exacerbate the global rice crisis and hurt vulnerable populations in import-dependent countries where rice is a crucial part of the diet. It's a classic dilemma: national interest versus global responsibility. The decision has far-reaching implications. The truth, as always, lies somewhere in the middle. Balancing domestic needs with international obligations is no easy task. India is facing its own set of challenges, including inflation, a growing population, and unpredictable weather patterns affecting crop yields. But their decision has global consequences, impacting trade dynamics and food availability worldwide. It highlights the interconnectedness of the global food system and the need for international cooperation. In times of crisis, collaboration and understanding between nations become even more crucial. Section 6, an ocean away. America's rice industry feels the heat. You might be thinking, this is all very concerning, but what about America? We grow rice too. You're right, we do. But even American rice farmers aren't immune to the global crisis. While the US is a relatively small player in the global rice trade, we still export a significant amount, mainly to our neighbors in North and South America. And guess what? They're feeling the pinch of India's export ban. This increased demand for American rice might seem like a good thing for our farmers, but it also means higher prices for American consumers. Remember that whole interconnectedness thing? Yeah, it comes back to bite us every time. Section 7, beyond the headlines, hunger, politics, and the price of rice. The rice crisis isn't just about numbers and graphs. It's about real people, families struggling to put food on the table. When rice prices skyrocket, it's the poorest and most vulnerable who suffer the most. This crisis also has geopolitical implications. Countries dependent on rice imports are left vulnerable. Food insecurity can lead to social unrest and political instability. Remember the Arab Spring? Rising food prices were a contributing factor to those uprisings. The rice crisis is a stark reminder of the fragility of our global food system. It's a wake-up call that we need to find long-term solutions to ensure food security for all. Section 8. Solutions on the horizon, a glimmer of hope. The situation may seem dire, but it's not hopeless. There are numerous strategies and initiatives that can help us navigate through these challenging times. There are potential solutions, glimmers of light in this rather bleak landscape. One word: diversification. Diversification is not just a buzzword, it's a necessity for our survival. We need to diversify our food sources, both globally and individually. This means growing a variety of crops and not relying on just one or two staples. Relying on a single crop is like putting all your eggs in one basket. If that crop fails, the consequences can be devastating. Climate change has shown us the danger of that strategy. Extreme weather events, pests, and diseases can wipe out entire crops, leading to food shortages and economic instability. By diversifying our diets and promoting sustainable agriculture practices, we can build a more resilient food system. This means supporting local farmers, reducing food waste, and encouraging the consumption of a wider variety of foods. Technology also has a role to play. Advanced farming techniques and tools can help us optimize our resources and increase productivity. From drought-resistant crops to precision agriculture, innovation can help us produce more food with fewer resources. These technologies can also help us adapt to changing environmental conditions. It's not a silver bullet, but it's a step in the right direction. By combining traditional knowledge with modern technology, we can create a sustainable and resilient food system for future generations. Section 9, a future on a razor's edge. Challenges and opportunities. The future of rice, and indeed, the future of our global food system, hangs in the balance. The challenges are significant, but so are the opportunities. We need to act now, and we need to act decisively. This is not just a problem for governments and policymakers to solve, it's a collective responsibility. We can all play a part by reducing food waste, making conscious consumer choices, and supporting sustainable agriculture. Remember, even small actions can have a ripple effect. Just like that butterfly, our individual choices can contribute to a brighter future. A future where everyone has access to this vital grain. Section 10, the power of choice. Consumers and the future of rice. We, the consumers, hold immense power. Every time we walk into a grocery store, we cast a vote with our wallets. By choosing sustainably sourced products, supporting local farmers, and reducing food waste, we can drive positive change. We can also become more informed consumers. Ask questions. Where does your rice come from? How is it grown? By understanding the story behind our food, we can make more ethical and sustainable choices. Remember, change starts with us. Let's use our collective power to create a more equitable and sustainable food future, one grain of rice at a time. Section 11, Epilogue, a world hungry for solutions. The rice crisis is a complex issue with far-reaching consequences. It's a story of interconnectedness, of environmental challenges, of political decisions, and of human resilience. But above all, it's a story that highlights our shared responsibility to find solutions. The future may seem uncertain, but one thing is clear: We cannot afford to be complacent. The choices we make today will determine the fate of this vital grain and the billions of people who depend on it. Let's choose wisely.